Well, the bigger point that we're trying to make is that it's time that the party reinserted itself into the debate process and deciding what's best for our candidates and our grassroots. This is the first step in doing that by saying that networks that clearly are trying to tip the scales for one party or one candidate should not be involved in helping to set the agenda for the Republican primary voters.
But isn't what you're doing just sort of perpetuating the idea that the environment is so toxic in Washington, so partisan, this do-nothing Congress? Aren't you just feeding into that?
Not at all. I mean, if you recall, in 2008, the Democrats refused to debate on Fox. No one had a problem with that. Two of the debates, the Republican debates, were hosted by Chris Matthews, a self-avowed Democratic operative. I mean, that's got to stop. At the end of the day,
whoa, stop there. Whoa, Sean, I'm not going to let you say that. What did you say about Mr. Matthews?
He's a Democratic operative. I mean, he spent his life in Democratic politics.
Describe that exactly, please.
He worked for Tip O'Neill. He spent his entire career working in Democratic politics.
No, I would suggest he worked for a San Francisco newspaper a few years ago, and then I believe he works for the NBC television network.
Okay, but he spent his entire career prior to that helping elect and re-elect Democrats to office.
And
why would you put someone whose job it is? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem. I think it's political malpractice to say to that person, you should be the guy moderating the issues, the debates, bringing up the issues and asking questions on behalf of the grassroots as to the presidential nominee of the Republican Party. That's just plain stupid.
Let's get back on track here, Sean. With great respect for your career in GOP politics and support of those candidates, is the distinction here that you want to do away with the documentary on the Secretary of State, or is the distinction here you would like to add a documentary of some GOP candidate, say Mr. Rubio of Florida?
No, again, I don't think to balance it out is to say, look, if you're going to go out there and do a documentary that helps create the personal story of Hillary Clinton, helps add some substance to her, that's just starting to tip the scales against us and our candidates. And frankly, it's also a disservice to the Democratic primary. People like Governor Joe Biden, our vice president, and a bunch of the other senators and governors on the Democratic side that are looking at the potential race as well. So I mean, it's just blatantly tips the scale in the favor of one particular candidate.
But by putting up a fight and by pushing this vote through, I mean, critics would argue that you're basically crowning Hillary every time you say her name, crowning Hillary the nominee when she hasn't even announced it yet in the face of no real Republican nominee on the other side.
I think the networks are the ones that came out first and said we're going to air miniseries and documentaries on her behalf. So if she doesn't run, I would be shocked. What we're trying to do is protect our party and our nominee and our potential nominee and look out for the issues and concerns of our grassroots, not worry about Hillary Clinton and not worry about the networks.